Hi everyone, it's the amazing people of Glastonbury, and today I have an interview that I've been looking forward to doing for so long. This is Kim Koels, amazing Kim, who I actually met totally by fluke, and it was the best luck ever.
Oh yeah, Airbnb.
Yeah, my first trip to Glastonbury, I stayed at Kim's Airbnb.
With your mum?
With my mum.
Hi mum.
And little did I know that Kim was going to be one of the coolest people I would ever meet.
Oh, thank you.
Kim is a painter, a photographer. She does light painting. She's an amazing mum. She's an amazing friend, and she's also manager of the newest gallery in town, Heart of the Tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So Kim, what was it like growing up in Glastonbury?
Oh, it was cool. It was good. It was different. I mean, I guess it was different because it's the only experience I have, but it was always interesting. We were always doing fun stuff. My mum used to take me to sleep on the tour for solstice if the festival wasn't on, or we'd go to the festival every summer, and we knew lots of people that lived very different types of lives and did lots of different interesting things, and we got to experience, I mean, it was an alternative upbringing, but without being too hippie, because obviously we lived in a house, and as much as my mum had a lot of traveller friends, our base was here solid, and she had a shop for a bit called Isis, which sold lots of unusual things, clothing, and not crystals necessarily, but we had jewellery and art and leggings with dragons on them. I remember those. And yeah, we travelled a lot, so it wasn't only Glastonbury, it was lots of other places that influenced my upbringing, but it was cool being here because everything was always a bit quirky, and taught you to kind of accept everyone for who they are, and that all the differences are kind of good and an asset because it makes life interesting.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing that Glastonbury teaches you, is that everyone can coexist, and you...
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's okay to be different. You just be different, and it's not worse or better, it's just different. It's cool. That was definitely one of the key things my mum said. It's okay to be different. You're not better, you're not worse, you're just different. And as everyone just accepts that and gets on with it and doesn't think that one way is better than another, or one person is right in the way of their living and another person is wrong, then it kind of works much easier for everyone, because you all can kind of enjoy yourselves and not kind of feel that you have to push your way of believing or living or existing onto anybody else.
When did you first start experimenting with like light painting and different kinds of lighting and photography?
So I was always interested in photography, and I studied graphic design at university, but I always hung out mostly in the photography studio. And in my teens I worked closely with a photographer here who had and we tried a little bit of light painting where I was the model, but very, very simple stuff, one torch, just using it to do very atmospheric kind of portraiture. And then I played with it at uni when we were still working on film, so it was very expensive, so you couldn't actually... The thing is with light painting is it's very experimental, it's very hit and miss, it's very try and try again until you get the desired effect. So for those of you who don't know what light painting is, it's long exposure photography where you use handheld light sources or various light sources that are artificial, mostly artificial, to create effect. So you're kind of drawing in a long exposure in the dark with a light that isn't like natural. Yeah. So you can make patterns, you can make pictures, you can just kind of create atmospheres with directional lighting and stuff. So yeah, the nature of it is experimental. So when I was at uni, so 17 years ago, blimey, I did a little bit of it with an illustrator friend of mine called Ken, remember? And we played around, but it was on film, so we didn't do it much because it cost whatever, 30 quid a pop, and kind of money runs out real quick. But I rediscovered it when my son was a baby, so about 6 years ago, I rediscovered it, and we started experimenting, and we used to go to the Zigzag at night with all the girls and play around and drink wine, and the roof used to leak at Zigzag, and they had a yurt on the top floor, so we'd kind of go and hang out inside the yurt in a building on the top floor and stay there all night playing around with light painting. Really simple stuff, like just 1 or 2 torches, like a blue balanced torch and an orange balanced torch, so like daylight and tungsten, and we'd mess around, and it was really awesome. And then from there I kind of found the light painting community on the internet, and that blew my mind. So we kind of looked at all the different stuff that was possible, and then started experimenting and using that as inspiration and playing around. And what I like about it is that you're not taking a picture, you're making a picture, I guess. Long way around to the answer of that question. With light painting, you don't just take a photo of something. So it's not like documentary, it's not like portrait. I mean, it does have elements of portraiture, but Sparks, you going to stay or are you going to go? Are you staying? You got to sit. Good boy. You get to use your imagination to create stuff, and because when you're doing it, you never really know how it's going to come out. You have an idea and you kind of learn what certain things do, but because while you're lighting an image you can't actually see what that effect is, because the light is only there while you shine it, and only the camera has a record of what you did. So it's always a bit of it's always a surprise kind of as to what exactly happens, and that's really exciting because every time it's like a treat, and when it works it's incredibly satisfying. Like, all the elements come together and you're like, yes, everything's right, nobody has 2 faces, everybody's lit properly, there's things going on, everyone, yeah, I love it. Ooh.
And then post-production, it must be so exciting because you look back and think, oh, I didn't even realise that light did this and this did that.
I mean, there is no post-production in my light. I mean, some people do, but for my light painting, I'd literally, the photo I take is the photo that you see, because I'm far too lazy. It's a mixture of not being able to use Photoshop or Lightroom and not being bothered about it. I really enjoy photography. I don't enjoy working on a computer. I like going out and having a photographic experience. And Sparks, you're going to have to go. You are. This is not working for me. No, you want to go? Go sniff. Go on. Hop.
But
Thank you.
I really like that. That makes it more special.
Yeah, I mean, it limits you a little bit because you really do have to get it right. And if you don't get it right, you're kind of a little bit like, oh, okay, we'll have to try again, rather than just being able to go on the computer and fix it. But it also, it's just, I'm interested in, like, when I learnt photography, it was film photography. And beyond what you could do in a darkroom in terms of dodging and burning, so you're like, when you're exposing the paper, you put your hand in to like expose other bits more, or you know, it.
Do you miss the art?
Oh mate, I loved the darkroom. It was amazing. I wanted to go back to uni and do photography, but only to use a colour darkroom. And then I looked into it, and nobody has a colour darkroom anymore. The university I went to in London, we had a colour darkroom, and I hung out there all day. It was amazing. I moved from the town centre, from Holborn up to King's Cross, and they didn't take the darkroom with them. I was like, this is blasphemy. It's unbelievable. But no, the darkroom was amazing. But that's why I like the not processing it. Like, I can, you know, I might adjust levels a little bit, but essentially the photo you take is what you have. It's like you're dealing with a negative rather than a digital thing, and it's much more exciting, and there's much more of a skill to it because you can't cheat it. You have to know what you're doing to an extent, and you have to get it right for it to be right.
I like that. And then also it's a process, and you've got almost like a recipe, like, oh, to get that image I use this lighting and this.
Yeah,
and this.
Yeah, it's like a recipe. I like that analogy.
It's beautiful.
Oh, hello. Careful.
Hello.
Careful with the cable. You can come sit down.
Why is there a cable?
Well, I said that they can hear me chitty-chatting. This is Zali. Zali's my son. You like light painting? Yeah? What's your favourite thing about light painting?
That we get to light up people.
You get to light up people. Oh, careful, Sparks.
We've got a cable here.
Yeah, sit.
Is there anybody, what's your favourite thing about Glastonbury?
I don't know.
You don't know? Sparks, what are you doing? You don't know what your favourite thing about Glastonbury is?
Well, I do like the parks nearby.
Yeah, that's good.
Like the skate park?
Yeah.
Do you like it when you go out with your mum and you guys do graffiti and cool stuff?
Yeah.
What's your favourite mural that you guys have done together?
Well, I like a mural that my mum did.
Yeah, which one? What's it a picture of?
that you and Sophie did with the skull.
Oh, the sugar skull. That one's just by our house, isn't it? Yeah.
It has a really cool message. What does it say? Do you know?
And you remember what it says? It says, "Too much of a good thing can be wonderful." It's a quote by a very fancy lady called Mae West, and she was really cool.
I think that's one of the best things Glastonbury teaches people as well.
Oh, well, lots of good stuff is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And sometimes it's okay to enjoy life and enjoy.
Oh,
all the
mate, always.
beauty
You
of
should
it.
always be enjoying life. My mum always said, what's important in life is happiness. It's not about earning lots of money. It's not about
It's not
being
about cash.
Exactly. It's about being happy and having a good time and spending time with the people you love and doing the things you love. And I think, Sparks, you got to stay. You got to stay. My chaotic interview. This is how it is in my life. Chaos all the time. See you later, Sally.
I once read not once, but the other day, because I've just started this book called The Artist's Way, and there's this line in it by the author Julia Cameron, and she says, creativity and spirituality are kind of the same thing, just dressed up in different ways. So do you find that? And do you find that the more creative you are, the more you're in tune with whatever else is
I
out
mean, for me, I'm not particularly spiritual. I don't believe in a god or a thing. Hey, I don't believe in anything particular. I believe there's energy and stuff. I suppose as hippie as it gets for me is that we are all that. There's
good vibes and
flows of energy and stuff, and I've got theories about what might happen about stuff energy doesn't disappear and it just moves and stuff. But how exactly that works is nobody's ever going to know, so I kind of don't pay too much attention to it. I believe in being a good person and stuff, and for me creativity, it's satisfying, it's really enriching, I enjoy it, but I don't and my son's coming over, he's showing off all our garden tools now. He's coming over with his axe for chopping the wood.
I got an enormous axe.
Yep, this is his favourite tool.
It's very heavy as well.
Anyway, but I don't get some kind of I don't connect it directly to any kind of spirituality as such. I'm sure some people do, and for some people, the big mistake is not turning your phone off. Not turning your phone off for the interview. That was work. I'll get back to them in a minute. But I enjoy the murals that you were talking about. It's fun, painting stuff. I do it because I enjoy seeing it. I enjoy doing it. I like things being colourful. For me, colour's a big thing. All my art's always really colourful. The murals were kind of a development from other art that I did. It's always changed, lots of different things. I used to paint with stencils on skateboards and canvases and stuff, or I drew with pen and ink, and then just made things out of paper mache, just playing with lots of different stuff because it's enjoyable, not because it's not a means to an end. It was never about making money or selling it. It was just because it's fun, and afterwards you have this cool thing that you made, and I know it's the mural thing is great because it's there. Yeah. It just kind of exists, and you kind of experience it, and other people get to experience it. And now recently with the mural trail happening, it's really nice to see such a... Hey.
I'm going to put my axe down.
You're going to put your axe down here? Come on then. And then sit down and be quiet, or go over there and play? Okay. It's really nice having this kind of amazing town-wide community reaction about how they just love it. People who live here, people who visit here, old people, young people, there's something for everyone, getting all the artists involved, people who have been these people have been painting stuff for years, and now suddenly they're getting some kind of appreciation. Oh, there's a worm. You want to put it in the earth?
I do not want to cut it.
No, don't cut it. Pick it up and put it in the earth.
Put it in there.
Yeah, I will. And little that one.
For everyone who doesn't know, in Glastonbury there's this underground thing, the Glastonbury Mural Trail.
It's not so underground anymore.
And every time we spot a new mural, it goes up online and everyone tries to...
And everyone goes,
and
ooh.
then everyone goes looking for it. Because we never really talk about exactly the location when we post stuff, and then it's a little hunt that everyone does.
Oh, well, now that used to be kind of look, I've seen this thing, and have you seen it? But now there's a map of it, and you can literally just look up where it is online. But it was what, a year and a half ago now that it launched, and still people are contacting me about wanting to paint stuff, wanting to find out where stuff is, whether they can go and take photos of stuff, how do they find the map, I've got a wall, can you paint it, how do I get involved? So it obviously definitely hit a thing with people. Oh, Zali.
You're pissed off.
It's a beautiful process. Kim, I mean, Glastonbury, you grew up in Glastonbury, and it's such an alternative, beautiful town because everyone's so free-spirited. But, like, how have you found being a mother in Glastonbury? Because sometimes you want to protect your little ones from stuff, but also, like, it's real life, and you and Zali have such a beautiful, real relationship. It's amazing to see.
Being a mum in Glastonbury, what's nice is you're kind of in a town, so you have connection to civilization, but you're still in the countryside, so you can go outside easily. There's certain things I like the idea of about other places, like my partner's from New Zealand, and there's certain things about the idea of living there in the countryside and being outside all the time and being more connected to nature. You know, when I say, we live in the countryside, he's always like, no, we don't. We live in the middle of a town. Like, what are you talking about? But then in comparison to other experiences I've had, or friends who live in London or Bristol, for example, is like, we do live very close to the countryside. So in one sense, it's like, I like the connection to culture and experiences like a place like London or Bristol would offer, where you can go and you can access amazing museums and cultural experiences, which there are less of here. But luckily with Glastonbury, we've got this kind of madness that goes on all the time with dragons and goddesses and fairies and God knows, zombies and all sorts of stuff. But then also I would like to be outside more. My mum lives in Portugal and in the countryside, and I really enjoy that outsideness. But here, for me, I mean, Glastonbury's Glastonbury. There's all the same things that you find anywhere else. I don't think you have to protect anybody any more than in any other place. I have to protect myself from the madness of my son. But yeah, no, I mean, the things that you see out and about, I don't think they don't exist other places. And I mean, what's nice here is that, again, we're going back to the open-mindedness and the different types of people and the different types of living, and that's nice that you can kind of show your kids that it's all totally normal and it's all cool. But being a mother in Glastonbury, I mean, I hadn't never really thought about it as a location anywhere different to anywhere else. The only thing I think about is that kind of difference between countryside living and town living. Like, I've recently acquired a little bit of land next to my house, a bit of tarmac, but before we had this little garden that isn't a garden, it's just a square of stones, and it's, for somebody who likes being outdoors so much, I guess that's the main thing that I dislike, is that we live in a flat and we don't have like all this space to do stuff outside, but we still manage. We go to the woods and we get creative and all that kind of stuff. So
well, I guess what I was like, it wasn't so much Glastonbury, but what I meant is that it's so beautiful to see how, because you're so creative, it's just a natural part of Zali's life, and like I've seen it over the years. Like,
no, his way of if you squirt me, young man, you'll be in big trouble. His way of rebelling is to not do art. He is he'll get involved occasionally. He likes painting, but he won't draw. Like when I was little, I used to do a lot of drawing and I used to like making stuff. Zali is much more
a fighter.
A fighter, yeah, he's much more a fighter. And again, well, gaming, yeah. I mean, I'm a gamer. Very different to when I grew up. But he likes building tools, cars, doing stuff with his dad, learning stuff about how stuff works. They like, what you like, space? I like learning about space. Get Pokemon.
I mainly like gaming.
Oh yeah, that's what you would do all the time if I let you. But when I don't let you, we like Lego. There's a lot of Lego in his life. So buildings, he's much more practical than I am. I was much more creative. Zali's definitely much more practical, and I think he'll go into, like, his father's a welder and an engineer and stuff, and I think he's much more inclined to go that way. I don't know. I think that he spends more time with me because I work in town and Dave works out of town, so obviously when he's not in school he's with me until Dave gets home in the evening, and I think he's just rebelling against the fact that that's what I do all the time. He wants to get the paintbrush though. If I'm painting, he wants to get involved. And when we went to the skate park for the graffiti jam, he painted then. If I let him paint with a spray can, he'll be all over it.
Hey.
Hello.
Tell us about
Oi. Oi. What are you doing? No.
Tell us about the Heart of the Tribe and the concept and like what the idea behind it. And how it came together.
Okay, Heart of the Tribe is Julian's thing. So I met Julian a few years ago and he wanted to open a gallery and somebody had told him that he should talk to me. So we did, and he said, I want to open this gallery and I want to support artists and I want to kind of create this thing, and it all sounded pretty cool. And he asked me to manage it, so I agreed on the principle that I don't really know you, but this sounds like a really cool idea, and let's just give it a go. So it's kind of happened now, yeah. And we've opened this gallery. Julian's invested in it, and his kind of idea. He has a very different background to me. I'm very kind of chaotic and colourful and all over the place and eclectic, and Julian's very clean and smart, and he likes things to be. What's the word? Sophisticated. So the gallery is very different to my life in that sense. Like, it's really cool. It's modern. It's professional. It's premium. It's what the art world. The art world that I live in, and the art world where the money is, are two very different places. So I live in a do whatever, it's fun, and then there's the people who buy art who like this kind of pretense around it.
Well, that's what rich people do. They go.
Oh, that would be nice.
Make it rain.
Make it rain like this.
They would have a bit of money and go
Mate, that would be nice, but they don't.
That's
But yeah, so-
that's what they do though.
Oh yeah.
They go.
So it's been very interesting, kind of creating this gallery that we want to align with that premium market and with that sophisticated idea of art and the art world, with balancing it with actually supporting grassroots creativity of the town, because a lot of the people here haven't had that opportunity to display and be part of something that is on that level, just because it's Glastonbury and everyone always thinks everything around here is about hippies and fairies and rainbows and God knows what, and what we're doing at the Heart of the Tribe isn't that. It's about actual sophisticated art, which is kind of nice and refreshing. We've had a really, really good response. Like, people are like, this is what we needed, this is great, I love what you're doing, you know, Glastonbury needs this. So it's good to have such a great response to what we've tried. Obviously it's been a disaster because of the pandemic, which means we haven't been able to do any of the wonderfully culturally enriching things that we would like to do, but eventually that's what we'd like it to become, a bit of a centre for inspiring people, for discussion, for making people think about art in a different way, for giving people that kind of art experience that normally you'd only get in a city, because, you know, other than, not just being an art gallery, not just being like an art shop or a picture shop kind of thing, but an actual art gallery that culturally enriches the community and gives people the opportunity to experience those things that otherwise you'd have to go to a city for. You look very dangerous with your axe, young man.
It's a very cool axe.
It's a big, heavy axe.
I'd like you not to wave it around so close to me, young man.
It's a very sharp axe. as
Your
well.
little belly.
Last question.
Yeah.
Is, if you think of this video as like a time capsule and you could share a message with anyone watching in any time or like any place of the world, from the
Future or
and-
past or
yeah,
what?
Whenever.
Oh,
What would your message from Glastonbury be?
from Glastonbury. I'm not from Glastonbury, but from me.
Yeah. Words of wisdom.
Do it because you love it, not because you think you should do it. I think, and don't care what anybody thinks. God, that's something I wish I literally, when I was younger, you just care so much about what other people think, and it really doesn't matter, because we're all different and we're all going to think different stuff, and it just doesn't matter. Just be yourself. Be like, if it makes you feel bad, or if you feel guilt or shame or something, then maybe you shouldn't do it. Like, do things from genuinely and try and be a good person. That's what, so the kind of the religion that I was brought up with my mum. It's not about believing in a god or in a thing. It's about being a good person.
And feeling that goodness inside.
Yeah, and just being nice and just being nice. And that doesn't mean like being like, oh hi, nice to people to their face, but like being genuinely with your actions and with your being sincere and just be nice. Don't care what anybody thinks and do things because you love them.
Sally, what would your message be to the rest of the world?
Oh, you put on the spot now. Can you think of a message? Something nice to tell the whole world that you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Oh, that's okay.
It's alright, you don't have to say anything.
What's the best Pokemon you've ever caught?
Oh, that's a good question, Sally.
Oh.
What's your favourite Pokemon that you caught in town?
Well, we did catch Mewtwo.
We did catch a Mewtwo, didn't
but
we?
I do like Groudon,
Groudon, yeah.
and Rayquaza, Kyogre.
That's quite a few. You're not going to pick a fave?
Oh,
A fave? A fave?
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
That was a beautiful.
Everyone who plays Pokemon, you're doing well.
That's his message to the world. You're doing well. Eh?
And keep on playing Pokemon. I love
Thank you, Ria.
guys. Thank you so much.